Hey everyone, Brian from Bear Bull Traders here, Sunday, April 21st. And we're just here in the end of a long weekend, Good Friday holiday, markets closed, and Monday morning we'll be back in the trading room. Markets will be open. So let's take a look at the week that was. It was a short week, as I said, and let's look ahead and see what we got to look forward to this coming week. I think the market will probably be a little bit slower on Monday. We do have a lot of earnings coming up this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, we've got 100 plus companies reporting each day. I think half the stocks in the Dow report next week. So it's going to be a busy earnings week coming up here. And let's just see where the markets are right now. Start out by looking at the stocks that are above their 200-day and below. You can see here we're kind of sliding back to that 50-50 range. I think this stocks above their 50 are sliding a bit. On Friday, advanced decliners around 50-50. And yeah, so we seem to be pulling back a little bit, but I think we're in that period. We've had a week of sort of consolidation. We'll take a look at the individual indexes and see where we're going, but let's take a look at the groups first. And you can see here industrial goods, consumer goods were the weekly performers, and still up there with the monthly performance too. Stocks like Honeywell have been gapped up and been really doing well. Technology sort of in the middle of the pack here. Although if we take a look at the QQs, we'll look at those and we'll see what did how that exchange or that index seems to just keep pushing higher. And you can see here, we'll talk a little bit more about our actives, but healthcare really got slammed last week, and it's been getting slammed for the month. And I've talked about that already in some of my previous videos. Healthcare is not a sector you want to be in leading up to an election, and both sides of the aisle, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, seems to be a favorite punching bag. And it really took it on the chin last week, and that's why our LabD trade did really well. So let's take a look at the indexes here and start out with the 10-year Treasury. You can see here I think we're going to be stuck in this range, 250, 260. We'll see what happens, it consolidates here. But as long as we're not push higher or significantly lower, we're probably going to be stuck in this range. You can see here we're kind of rolling over on the MACD, rolling over in the RSI, and it's where that doesn't seem to be headed anywhere, I think. In industrials on the daily, we had an update on Friday, or Thursday, I should say. And you can see here on the weekly, the Dow continues to push higher and higher, and industrial goods, etc., consumer goods seem to be leading the pack. And I think we're probably heading back up to this close to the 27,000 level, which is where we really peaked out right here. But I think the trend is still your friend, and it still looks like we want to go higher. On the small caps, the 2000, they not seem to be doing as too well. You can see here they kind of stalled out on the daily, and Thursday we didn't have a very good day on volume. RSI around 50, and that doesn't look all that constructive for the small caps. They are not doing as well as some of the other indexes, and you can see here the weekly here, it closed down on the weekly. But declining volume on these weeks, so I'm not really sure where it's going to head from there. Could be consolidation just before a move higher, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. No conviction one way or another right now. Qs again, wasn't a particularly good day on Friday, but you can see here on the weekly continues to trend higher, and it's right at it. Actually does look like it has broken out from this previous high here, and again, trend is your friend. It does look like it wants to go higher. And the large caps again didn't do particularly well on Thursday. I keep wanting to say Friday. And again, it wasn't a great week for the large caps. You can see here the kind of a doji candle there didn't really do much. And again, we're back here at this high. So, a week of consolidation by the looks of it on the large caps. the dollar really took a jump on Thursday. You can see here really took off, jumped higher, and it broke out too. So trades like that are sensitive to the dollar, like oil, commodity trades, gold, took a hit. And as the dollar goes up, some of these commodities may put some pressure on them, particularly thinking the precious metals like gold. And the VIX again, on the day, it just got crushed again on Thursday. Had a bit of a looked like it was going to come back here, hold this level, and it's still holding this 12 level here on the VIX, but we'll see where it goes. I think it's going to probably hang around there. I can't see it heading lower, but I also, if the market continues to be higher, I don't see the volatility starting to scream back up unless something extraordinary happens. So let's take a look. Here's one stock I've been in for quite a while now, Coke, consumer good, obviously, been doing well, broke out. Still happy with that, but that's, they are reporting on Wednesday, I believe it is. I may take at least half the position off because I don't like to hold things through earnings. And I don't have a huge position in it, but I may scale back or get out of that before they report, because I don't want to take a chance of having something that looked like this the following morning. And as I was watching, I always watch natural gas. I saw it breaking out. You see we're still holding a little bit of cold, although it's getting pretty extended here. I've been taking positions off of that one, but just keeping an eye on it, and natural gas until it started to break down in price, and that's where I made pretty good gains. And LabD, as I mentioned already earlier, you can see here, had a great move on Wednesday. Fantastic move. You could see here was kind of starting to break out. That's when I got involved under 19 and was taking some off all the way up and just have a little bit left. I'm going to talk a little bit about this because I think that, we had a big reversal candle here on Thursday, and I think we are due for a bounce. I don't think the overall narrative is changing. I still think healthcare, pharma is going to be a tough slog to be in, but I do believe we are quite oversold here. So I think we can kind of expect a bounce, but I would not be overstaying my welcome on that. OEC was, been involved with that, and since it's broken out, and I'm pretty happy with that, taking some off already, if you've been getting my emails. And let's take a look at what I've got on watch for the coming week. Dust, like I said, gold with the dollar going higher, dust has been breaking out, and I'm going to keep an eye on the dollar and see what dust has here. It is a little extended. It is getting up to a level of resistance here, prior resistance, so I'm going to watch that. If we get a pullback, I may look for an entry on that one. Emerging market, again, and just watching that to see what happens there. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this yet, if it breaks up or if it starts to break down, but it's going to depend on the dollar. And here's some of the stocks I'm looking at that have really been beaten up in the pharma and healthcare space. Merck is one of them. I think you can see here we had a bit of a doji candle day after a huge sell-off, and we're right back down to a level of support. So I'll be looking maybe to take this long for a bounce, but like I said, I won't be overstaying my welcome on that one. I think I got UNH in here too, but just looking at the semiconductors again, they're pretty extended, and just keeping an eye on that. Again, UNG, this is the where we started to break down here. That's where I got involved in UNG, and that's what I was looking for, to get either long or short of it, because I didn't know if it was going to break higher or lower. So you kind of wait for the move and then take your position. Here's UNH. This is the other one that I've been keeping an eyeball on here for a bounce, although it already had a pretty strong bounce. He had a doji candle here on Wednesday, and then an up day on Thursday. So less likely to want to take that one long because it's already had had a decent move. So this is the UWT, it's the crude oil. So I'm watching this now, and this is the same sort of setup I watched for UNG. I'm just, you can see here, it's just consolidating on this line here. It's eventually going to make a move one way or another. I don't know which way it's going to go, but when it does, I'll be watching that, and when I see a move, I'll be taking in a position, whether it's long or short, just like the setup with UNG. We decided to make a move to the short side, and then I got involved. So sometimes you just have to wait for these moves to show themselves, and then you rock and roll, you get involved. So here's some of the scans I was looking at over the weekend here. American Outdoor Brands. It really got beaten down last earnings season. You can see here it's kind of made a double bottom. That's what's got me interested. It does also look kind of like an inverted head and shoulders. So here's your one shoulder, here's the head where we made a new low, and now it's come back up and it's found this forming this right shoulder. So if it does start to break out, it could move back up at the very least to the 1050 level. This is where a moving average is as well, and then filling a gap here over 11. So I'm kind of liking this for a setup. I'm going to have to check when it's reporting, because it actually looks like it might have reported in March, so we may be well out of the earnings season for this, because I don't want to be catching this through an earnings season. But this looks like an interesting setup to me for a long position. Here's another one that I'm looking at. AUDC, kind of see here, pulled back, tried to go higher, pulled back again. This is kind of a classic pattern, strong trend up, pull back on a bull flag, breakout, then pull back, test this breakout level, and then go higher. So I'm going to be watching this pretty closely, and you've got a nice risk to reward here. Again, we're in 1550. It's trading around 16 right now. If it can break out, we can get at least a buck or a buck and a half on that, I think. So going to be watching that for an entry as well. Again, I like CCRC. It looks like it might want to break out here. I'll just draw a line as I was eyeballing this earlier. You can kind of see here, it looks like it wants to maybe break out. Let's draw another trend line here. So you could put it down here, catching this here. And so it does actually look like it wants to break out, or it may be trying to break out here. So where would we take the entry? I would look at taking an entry somewhere around, hopefully get in around 1180, 1177. 77 is my favorite entry number on day trading, and maybe we can get 1275. This would be an area of resistance right here, close to 1250, 1260, somewhere in this range. So we got a little bit of a pullback, and then we could use sort of 1150 as the stop, and then take the first exit off here. So that's a possibility. I was looking at getting involved in this earlier. I wish I had, because it's it was looking at it last week. It was on my watch list and it broke out. I didn't take a position on it, but I'm gonna maybe re-examine it on Monday or when the market's open and see if it's worth taking a position in. Zymergen didn't do anything, so I'll take that off my watch list. And that's it, everybody. This is my book, How to Swing Trade, by Brian Pezim. It's available on Amazon if you want to check it out. And that's it. So hope everyone had a great holiday weekend and ready to rock and roll in the room tomorrow morning, Monday morning. I believe we're also doing a live YouTube show. It's pretty much going to be open to everyone who wants to join us around 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Monday night. It's going to be called Ask Me Anything, and you can come and ask us almost anything. Should have been AMAA, almost anything, but it's called AMA. So you can come there, ask us anything to do with stock trading. We'll try to answer your questions there. That's on YouTube Live, so you can check us out there. Otherwise, have a great rest of your weekend, everyone, and we'll see you in the Bear Bull Trading Room in the morning. Ciao for now, everyone.